Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I'm Grace. Welcome to our Surya Namaskara Sun Salutation C with some modifications and variations. And we are on week 7 of the hybrid course. I'm so happy you are here, whether you're taking the hybrid course or not. And our focus is really radical self-love this week and bringing that love into our heart in all circumstances. We're driving down the road, bring love into your heart. When you're visiting with people, bring love into your heart. If you're upset about anything, bring love into your heart. If you're struggling, bring love into your heart. If you're feeling great, bring love into your heart. If you're taking a walk, bring love into your heart. Meditating, bring love into your heart. So we're really bringing that love in, that praise in, that softest place to land, that beautiful, loving voice inside our head is what we're going to be listening to this week as a practice for continuing that throughout our lives every day, especially when we're feeling a little low. That's when we especially need to listen to that voice of love inside us, that acknowledging, praising, complimentary voice that helps us to see the good in the positive and move confidently in the positive direction toward our dreams and our goals, and not put ourselves down or get down on ourselves. That doesn't help. We're our cheerleaders for ourselves. Our single point of focus this week is with our mindfulness meditation we're going to be doing is with our eyes open, finding an object to gaze at with our eyes open. So that's what we'll be doing with our mindfulness meditation. Is our single point of focus is something in front of us, and it could be a picture you have, it could be a flower you're looking at, a candle that's lit, it could be a speck of dust or a spot of dirt on the wall. It doesn't matter what the object is. It's just that we're bringing our single point of focus. And then our niyama is santosha, contentment. So we're going to be focusing on that throughout the practice. We'll be bringing it inward, being content in our lives with what's arising now and the emotions that are arising now, how we are now, how we aren't now, how life is arising and isn't arising now. Sometimes life isn't arising exactly as our minds want, but our minds aren't always the perfect judge of how things should arise. So we're surrendering to santosha, being content with how life is arising in each moment, and how we're arising, and how we're not arising, and how life is not arising. So just being with really truly what is and what isn't in this moment, and finding some sense of contentment in that, and contentment with the things that are serving us. And there's always so many things that we are blessed with in every moment, and we'll be content with those things. And that is our focus. So let's begin our practice as we sit, feeling that earth supporting our body. Moving into just a breath awareness, mindful breathing. And notice your natural rhythm and settle in. And if you're not breathing into the belly, invite that breath to drop all the way down as you inhale, like as if you were to pour a glass of water, it would drop down to the bottom of the glass. So inhale, feeling that lower abdomen, feeling the belly expand, and on the exhale, feeling that belly coming in towards the spine as we breathe into the lower abdominals. And bringing that focus of sending love into the heart. Filling ourselves up with love. We move into that 3-part yogic breath as we inhale love into the belly, the ribs like a wave, and the chest, and the heart. Filling ourselves with love and compassion, and exhaling completely, just letting it go. A few more on your own. Inhaling, 3-part yogic breath, belly, ribs, and chest. Love and acknowledgement for the self. Filling our heart and our whole being with love. And one more 3-part yogic breath as you bring in that love. At the bottom of the exhale, just allowing a couple integrative breaths. We're going to move into Nadi Shodhanam, alternate nostril breathing, and then we'll move into our intention and our practice. So we're going to use Vishnu Mudra. Curl that pointer and middle finger in, or you can have them on your third eye. I'm using the thumb. I'm using my right hand, so my thumb will close off the right nostril, and my ring finger, or you can use your pinky, is closing off the left. And we're always switching on the exhale. So let's use the thumb to close off the right nostril. Exhale out the left. Inhale, same side on the left. And switching, using the finger to close off the left, releasing the thumb, and exhale out the right. Inhale, right side, same side. And switching, exhaling out the left. And continue a few more breaths on your own. Balancing the nadi system, the right and left sides of the body, and the right and left brain. And one more time on either side. And then your final exhale, just releasing the breath. And taking this opportunity now to set an intention for yourself, something you like to create in your life, always stating it in the positive and in the present tense. I have the life of my dream, the career of my dream, the relationship of my dream, whatever it is you're wanting to create, stating it as if you have it now and stating it in the positive. So you don't want to say, I don't have the excess weight that I don't want, or I don't have the whatever it is that you don't. You want to state, I have the health and the weight of my perfect imaginings. And as we state that and bring our attention and our focus on this aspect of our life, we want to manifest something new, something exciting and beautiful, and something that we deserve. Take a few moments to feel those emotions as if you're right there in the middle, walking into your brand new home or your brand new job, or walking into that relationship, hugging that person, whatever it is that you're wanting to create. Feel those emotions, be right there. Releasing the intention, keeping the emotions, releasing the intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better, knowing the universe, the infinite intelligence of all that is, may have an even more amazing, higher version than what you can imagine now. And gently and kindly opening your eyes, and we're going to come up to a seated position. I'm in a standing position, sorry about that. And we're going to shake out the body. Shake out the legs, the arms, just shaking it out. Beautiful job. And let's do a little twisting. Spine up a little bit. We start moving in our Surya Namaskara. We'll be bringing love into our heart throughout this practice and feeling that contentment throughout the practice, santosha, as we are content in our body, exactly as our bodies are, as they are not, and grateful for this physical equipment that we have. Let's do our breath of joy, and we'll move right into the Surya Namaskara. So 3 sips of inhale. Inhaling, arms shoulder length, arms out, arms up, and exhaling, bending the knees, and let's begin. One more time. And hang here in your inversion. Doing that nice stretch on the lower back. Let's really slowly and really gently begin to bring ourselves up as we roll up the lower lumbar, upper, lower thoracics. Just start to stack up nice and slowly to bring us up. So we're finally all the way up. Beautiful. And let's tap that thymus. I'm going to try to do that every day. Give it a little tap, keep that thymus gland. It helps build our immunities. Keep it awake and alert. Don't let it get too dormant or sleepy or start shrinking. Beautiful. And we're going to come to the front of our mat, feet are hip width apart. You can take the two fists to check that. Bringing our weight to balance equally on both feet, the sides of the feet. I was digging in the dirt this morning, so I have some dirt on me. I probably should have changed my pants, but that's okay. I love digging in the dirt. So that your weight is balanced, the front of the foot, the back, the sides, and find that center of gravity for yourself. So we're going to move into our loops. So we find our perfect alignment in mountain, ankle loop, like to feel a lift of the arch. Sometimes it helps to lift my toes. Shin loop, engaging the calves. Thigh loop, feel a lift of the knees, engaging those quadriceps, releasing the glutes. Pelvic loop, bringing that pelvis into neutral. Just have to tuck that tail under a little. It's one of my things I need to always work on. And kidney loop, feeling a lift of the ribs. Shoulder loop is coming up between the lips. Feel that chin come parallel. The energy moves back, so you'll feel the shoulders come back, shoulder blades coming together a little bit, and then it drops back down the back, so the shoulders drop away from the ears. Inhaling, bringing those arms up to a big, nice extended mountain. And if you'd like, you can move into a gentle back bend here, gazing up towards the sky. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, we're going to come back up to center and we're going to hinge down. So the hips are moving. Giant angel wings, or the hands on the hips, just not forward of ourselves. And coming all the way down, you can come down to a block. You can come down to the earth. You can grab those elbows. Bring the hands behind the calves and pull the body in a little closer. Or bring the arms on the back. And we're going to inhale into half forward fold. Feel that spine extending away from the core of the body. And then exhaling into your forward fold. And we're showing a lot of modifications and variations today. So we're going to bring the hands down to the earth, right beside the feet. Create the nice solid connection there. Lift the head and the heart gently and bring that right leg back behind. Reaching that right heel towards the earth. So here we are in a lunge. So there's a lot of variations here. We can drop the knee down into a nice low lunge. We can keep the hands down on the earth. We can come up. We can bring a curve to the back. We can stay in our high lunge and we can be here. This can be our lunge. We can come up to a high lunge. And another variation on when we're up in our high lunge, there's so many variations, but we're just going to show you a few. First, let's set our foundation as the 2 feet. They are like railroad tracks, so they're even. We're not in that 35 to 45 degree. Back heel is reaching towards the earth, knees over the ankle, hips are square, back thigh is engaged in that thigh loop. And a nice variation to this that adds a little twist in the pose. You'll be able to see me better on the other side. So we twist and bring the hands in a prayer position like that. a nice variation. And let's engage the bandhas and breathe. So I'm over like this, but I'm facing the other way. Beautiful. One more breath. And coming back to center, we're going to bring the hands down onto the mat. And we're going to move into downward facing dog. So the heels and the heart are reaching down towards the earth. A lot of variations in your downward facing dog. Walking the dog is the most common. One heel drops down, opposite knee bends in. Feeling the stretch. We'll move into three-legged dog on our next side. A lot of downward dogs. And coming back to neutral, feeling that heart and heels reaching towards the earth, relaxing the head between the hands. Thighs are back. Slight flexion in the spine. Beautiful. We're going to move into our plank. Here we are in plank. And one of the versions is for us to do our push-ups. We'll do that next. But another version when we're in our plank pose, of course, is we can drop the knees into a half plank. And another version is a side plank. And we can do the side plank with the knees down. We can have the stack shoulders. We can be in a side plank this way, or we can also go from plank into a side plank, full side plank. Let's engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's bring that hand down, back into plank for a moment, whether you're in the half plank or side plank. Let's go to the other side. And breathe. It's a balancing pose, so find a dristi, point to look at. One more breath. And releasing down. Beautiful. And let's bring those knees down. Move into our chaturanga. And one way you can move down to chaturanga is just lowering your plank, or you can bring knees, chin, and chest, and swoop up into a beautiful up dog. And we'll show you, we'll do baby cobra next, we can do boat, we can do bow. There's options here too. And then let's curl those toes under, lift those hips back into our downward facing dog. And we can move into a three-legged dog. So I'm going to kick that right leg out, and I'm in a three-legged dog. Take those hips and bring them parallel to the earth. And that foot can be pointed or flexed. And one more breath here. Let's bring that foot down and move to the other side, rooting the right foot in, kicking the left leg out, squaring those hips. Engage those bandhas and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. Bring that leg down. And we're going to hinge forward a little, look between your hands and walk, step, or jump that right foot back. And we move onto this side. So remembering, you can be moving into a low lunge like The hands on the earth. A low lunge, the arms up. You can be in a high lunge with the hands on the earth. It can be a high lunge with the arms up. Engage the bodies and breathe. 2 more breaths. Let's twist to this side. 2 breaths. Beautiful. And releasing down. And bringing that left leg forward back into forward fold. And relax that head, make gentle movements, a yes, no. Come up into half forward fold. Back into forward fold. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the heart, coming all the way back up. Moving into a back bend. And the variation with this mountain is to go into half moon. I'll face you so you can see this better. We bring the hands up overhead and moving the body, moving those hips out a little bit. We're not going to collapse into the side. We're going to lift and move into that lateral spine movement and moving to the other side. We'll go back and forth, opening up that side body, moving that spine laterally, and keeping that breath flowing. This. One more time. So we have a couple times on either side. And coming back to center. Deep inhale into your mountain Tadasana and exhale, hinging forward into your forward fold. Relaxing that head, finding a variation if you like. Inhaling up into half forward fold. Variation for this is to bring the fingertips to touch the earth or a block. Releasing down into our forward fold. We're going to inhale, coming up. Exhale, bring that right leg back. Let's drop that knee and move into our lunge rock variation. This is always a nice variation because it allows us to open the hips. Get a little hip opener as we hinge forward. Making some little subtle movements as you really enjoy being in your body. Moving and flowing, fully embodied, sacred embodiment. And lunging back. Adding a little forward fold, a little stretch to the low back, and a nice opportunity to bring that love into our hearts. That sense of deep contentment for ourselves, our lives. Keeping the breath flowing. The love flowing inward. At your own pace, flowing back and forth with your lunge rocks. and coming back to center. And here you can move directly into your up dog, or you can take that foot back and take a moment in your table pose and add some variations. And a lot of variations in table. We're just going to add a few. Let's go and move into a balancing table to start. And so knees are hip width apart, hands, the wrists are right under the shoulders, and we're going to root that right hand into the earth as you lift the left arm up and the right leg. And find that dristi and breathe. And one more breath. And releasing down. Go to the other side. Feeling the left hand rooted and the right knee, lifting the right hand and the left leg. Find your dristi and breathe. And one more breath. Releasing down. We'll do a little variation with threading the needle. We're in table. It's a real nice one. And so what we can do is we bring the weight in. I'm going to bring the weight into the left hand and spread those fingers, that spider grip there a little bit. Lifting that right arm, opening the chest. I'm going to take this right hand and I'm going to thread it right between the left wrist and the left knee. And come all the way onto my shoulder. And rest on the side of my head. And breathe. On the next inhale, inhaling all the way up. And then bringing the hand back down. And let's move to the other side for our threading the needle. Bringing the weight into that right hand, spreading the fingers. Inhaling the left arm up. And exhaling, threading that right through, resting on the left shoulder. And breathe. On the next inhale, coming all the way up and back down. And always a wonderful variation in your table is cat-cow. Inhaling into cat as you arch that back into extension, sticking that tailbone up, lifting the head and the heart. Exhaling into cat as you tuck the tailbone under. Gaze at the thighs and the belly. Inhaling and exhaling in cat-cow, flexion and extension. Bringing that love to the heart, love to the self. Acknowledging yourself for being on your mat. And if you're just sitting on your mat right now, acknowledging yourself for being on your mat. Adding some variations to this. Always when you're in your cat, bring those hips back. Feel that nice stretch of the lower back. Maybe even some circles, the hips. Keeping the breath flowing. Sure to go both directions. Still moving through our Sun Salutation Surya Namaskara C. We're just adding lots of modifications and variation. And We're going to move into our downward facing dog. And if downward facing dog isn't in your practice, table is a good modification for that. You can just continue in your table pose and cat cow or any of those modifications. We're going to curl those toes, lift those hips, straighten the legs right into our downward facing dog. And maybe another little bit of walking the dog. And then we're going to go into our three-legged dog variations. I'm gonna kick that left leg out, bend that knee and open the hip. Feel a nice hip opener, and you can always move into wild thing. Find your variation and breathe. One more breath. Coming back up to your three-legged dog. And then move over, kicking that right leg up. Bend that knee and opening up the hip. And this may be your pose. I start coming down. Or you can come over into wild thing. And breathe. One more breath here. Beautiful. And coming back up. And bringing that leg. Another nice variation when you're in your downward facing dog is to kicking that leg back and bringing the knee in towards the nose or either of the elbows or wrists. And then we will do that on the other side. One more time. And coming back into our downward facing dog. We move into our plank, and you can drop down into low plank, or you can stay in your high plank. And I'm going to invite us to do a few push-ups in your plank. It's a nice variation we can do to strengthen those arms. Keep them strong. Yoga is about balance, flexibility, and strength of mind, body, and soul. Bringing your awareness to those arms as you go into your push-ups. And if you just one is enough, just coming down onto the mat. When you're resting on the earth, maybe you're still doing push-ups, bringing your head to one side or the other. And taking that moment to bring love into the heart. Allow the earth to send love into your body in the highest form that you need in this moment. And turning to the other side, you're balancing out, and just be that sponge as you absorb the loving energy from Mother Earth. Receiving love into your heart. And coming back to center. And here we are. We'll move into a couple variations here. So the first variation, let's move into baby cobra. Legs are extended out, about hip width apart. And you're going to bring the hands so they're right under the shoulders. And so your pelvis is pressing into the earth. Feel that connection with the earth. And we're not going to be using the weight of the hands at all. They're just here to stabilize. We're going to inhale as we use those back muscles to lift the back up. And it's a gentle back bend. It's not like up dog. We're not as high as up dog. And these hands are just for stabilization. And find your drishti and breathe. Really good back strengthener. One more breath. And relaxing down. Beautiful. Baby cobra. And our next one is our bird or airplane. So we're going to bring the hands out to the side. Legs are still extended out straight behind us. Again, feel that pubic bone, the pelvis pressing into the earth. That is our foundation where we're connected to the earth. And on your next inhale, lifting the legs and the arms into your beautiful bird or airplane, finding your drishti and breathe. Gauge those bandhas if you can. One more nice deep breath. And exhaling down. Beautiful job. And our third variation we're going to do is our bow. And this is when we can bring the hands. So this is when you can also use a strap. If you cannot reach the backs of the tops of your feet. And feel that nice stretch for a moment on those thighs as you just rest here in this pose. And feeling that pelvis connected to the earth. That's our foundation. On the next inhale, raising up. And finding your drishti and breathe. One more breath. And on the exhale, releasing down. Beautiful job. Beautiful. And let's move into child's pose. That's a variation in the sun salutation. We move into up dog and take this time to send that love into your heart. Beautiful. Coming into your table, curling those toes under and moving back up into your downward facing dog, heels and heart reaching towards the earth, strong arms. Walking the dog. And we're going to lift the head and the heart. We're going to bring right leg up between the hands, drop the back knee, and move into some lunge rocks on this side. Do lunge forward, feeling a nice hip opener, making any little spontaneous movements that feel good for you, and enjoying and basking in this beautiful sacred embodiment. And lunging back as you straighten that front leg, feel a nice stretch. You can flex and extend the foot. Keeping that breath flowing as you move at your own pace, back and forth in your lunge rocks. Become immersed in the sensation in your body. Thoughts enter, the past or the future, worries or fears or planning or anything. Just come back into your body. This is our time to be embodied with this sacred embodiment and enjoy the sensations. Bringing more attention into the physical aspect of our embodiment. Keeping the breath flowing. And coming back to center. Curling that back toe under, lifting that back leg up, bringing that left leg forward into a beautiful forward fold. Find the variation that works the best for you. And swing a little bit. And relax that head. Inhaling halfway up. Find your variation for that. Exhaling back down into forward fold, Uttanasana. On the next inhale, lifting the head, lifting the heart. Coming all the way back up into your mountain. We're going to do one more to breath. Inhaling into your mountain. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half forward fold. Exhaling, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling into lunge, whichever variation or modification you want to adopt. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Inhaling into up dog. And exhaling into down dog. Inhaling into high lunge or low lunge, your Anjaneyasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana, forward fold. And lifting the head, lifting the heart, inhaling all the way back up into your mountain. And once you get all the way up, let's bring those hands in front of the heart in Anjaneya Mudra, maybe even placing them on your heart, palms on the heart. And taking a couple breaths as you send yourself love. Send yourself some words of affirmation and praise. You did it. You're a rock star. You're awesome. I'm so proud of you. I love you. I admire you. You're adorable. Whatever you like to hear. Cherish your own self. Treasure your own beingness. One more breath here. Beautiful. Gonna move into a one balancing pose. Before we move, trying to add one in so we have a good variety. I was thinking half moon would be fun, so we're gonna have those feet a little further than hip width apart. And with our standing, this is a balancing half moon. This is a different variation of half moon when we're up in our mountain. And I always like with this is to find the spot where you're going to bring your hand down. So we're going to be moving into, this is our half moon. So find where you're comfortable to bring your hand down. It's going to be forward of that front foot. And then bringing the weight into that front foot. I'm on my right standing leg, very little weight on the left, and hinging over to find that spot. Lifting the leg, bringing those arms, stacking the shoulders, engage the bandhas and breathe. Can gaze up at the fingertips if you like, add a twist in the spine, or keep the head in alignment with the spine. And one more deep breath here. And coming up. Beautiful job. We'll move to the other side. So finding that spot where you're going to bring your hand down, so you know where that's going to be. Bringing your weight into that left standing leg. Finding that spot, looking at it, and hinging over. And engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. And coming down. Beautiful. Let's move into a chair. Bring those arms out, bringing those buttocks back, and sitting down on that invisible chair. Nice leg strengthener. Gauge the bandhas and breathe. Find a dristi. And one more breath. Beautiful. And inhaling up. Let's clasp those hands behind us. Hinging forward into our standing yoga mudra as we honor the heart, highest organ in the body, and bringing all that love and appreciation and gratitude to our own sacred heart. And one more breath. And on the exhale, releasing the hands, bringing them down to the earth. Coming down, and we're going to come down onto our mats, move into a few releases. Savasana. The knees are up, and we're going to begin with our hula. And that's just swiveling these hips, so everything's resting flat on the earth, nothing's lifting up. But we're going to swivel the sacrum and the hips. So as my right hip comes up towards the armpit, the left hip is dropping down towards, reaching towards the heel. Everything flat on the earth. We're not lifting anything up. Feel that sacrum just rotate. And then switching. So my left hip is reaching up towards the armpit. The right is reaching down towards the heel. And continuing at your own pace. As you swivel those hips, nice deep breaths into the belly. Feeling the release on that lower back, the lumbar spine, the hips. And one more time on each side. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. We'll move into hip pointers. So this time we're going to lift one hip up at a time, just slightly to point. So I'm going to root the right hip into the earth and point that left as I lift that left butt cheek up a little bit and point that hip diagonal. Adds a little gentle twist as we release that lower back, the lumbar spine, and I go to the opposite side, rooting the left butt cheek into the earth and pointing that right hip up as I lift that right butt cheek up off the mat just a little. And one at a time, nice, slow, repetitive movements. Keeping the breath flowing. And one more time on both sides. And coming back to neutral. We're going to move into some cat-cow on the earth. I'll move my hands a little bit. So as we move into cat, we're going to press the small of the back into the earth. We're moving into flexion, tucking the tailbone under. Feel that back pressing into the earth. As we move into our cow, we're going to arch that spine up off the earth. Feel that move into extension, into a back bend. Sticking the tailbone into the earth as you feel the spine curl up. You may be able to get your hands underneath your back or maybe not. The important thing is that the spine is rounding up and moving back and forth in your flexion and extension of the spine. And sometimes when people move into their cat, once you're fully in flexion, you can lift those hips up a little bit if you like. And then moving them back before you move into extension. Keeping the breath flowing, noticing sensation in your body. And one more time on each flexion and extension, cat-cow. And coming back to neutral. We're going to keep those knees up. We're going to bring those feet wider and wider to the wide edges of our mat. Or wide if we're just on the earth. And we're going to drop one knee at a time into the center. Single knee drop. Nice and slow. Sometimes slow is better. And one more time on either side. And coming back to center. The knees up, Bring those feet back together. Let's drop both knees over to one side. We have a couple options here with our double knee twist here. We're on a nice twist. You can either lift that top leg and nice and gently and slowly bring it over. Rest a moment in your supine Baddha Konasana and continue bringing that bottom leg up and over till they're both stacked on the other side. Taking a breath and feeling this nice gentle twist, and then continuing lifting top leg up, bringing it open to a supine Baddha Konasana, butterfly, and the bottom leg follows till they're both stacked up. And some people just enjoy bringing both legs together into a nice gentle side to side twist. Maybe try both of them out, maybe a little of each, or you may have a favorite. This is our last movement. We'll bring our knees into the chest and we'll get into our Savasana. Noticing the sensations, feeling that love in our heart, bringing our love into our own beingness, our own heart, our own inner presence. And one more time on each side. And when we're done, coming back to center, let's bring those knees into the chest, hugging those knees in, at the same time, hugging ourselves with love. Just the way we are and just the way we are not. This unconditional love of the self. And if you need to make any last movements or poses before Savasana, now is the time to do that. Otherwise, moving just directly into your Savasana. And getting nice and comfortable on the earth, acknowledging that constant, ever-present support of the earth, holding your body, supporting your physical existence. Breathing into the belly. Relaxing into the silent stillness as you integrate this entire practice, mind, body, and spirit. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. As you begin to come back and prepare for our mindfulness meditation, and you may stay in your Savasana if you like for your meditation, in the Savasana pose, corpse pose, or if you'd like to come to a seated position, wiggling the fingers and toes, stretching out the arms and legs, rolling over to one side or the other. And coming up to a seated position. Or if you're still in your Savasana, just resting in Savasana. I'm going to invite you, especially if you're in a seated position, to use our anchor this week, is gazing at something with your eyes. And that can be anything in front of you. You may have something that is staying still. So don't use a cat or a moving object. If there's something in front of you that you can gaze at, keep that focus. And we'll be breathing into the belly, rooted deeply in the earth, supported, bringing all our attention on this anchor, this visual object we get to gaze at. And begin your mindfulness meditation. If your mind begins to wander, just bring your attention back to that visual focus. all your attention on this visual object your eyes are gazing at. Full concentration on your object. Single pointed, focused attention, your visual anchor. Directing all your attention towards the anchor. fully absorbed in this visual anchor. Relaxing that focus. If you're on your back, beginning to wiggle the fingers and toes and stretching out the arms and legs. Your time to roll over to one side. And gently all come up to a seated position together. And as you rest in this silent stillness, this quiet, calm mind, seeing that pool of water within your mind is calm, glass smooth, reflecting the divine consciousness that is in and through and around you, everywhere. And taking a moment to bring yourself back to that intention and feeling those same emotions you feel as this intention is fully manifested. Send that joy, that expansion, those happy vibrations into that glass smooth consciousness within you. Releasing this intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And we'll conclude with Namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our Surya Namaskara flow with some variations and modifications. I am Grace. Check out ecstaticyoga.studio for more information on our yoga teacher trainings and retreats. Wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.